everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 33. This tale begins once again in the world of Ganyuts, to this soap opera I like to call As the Ganyu World Turns. This story begins in Nyelv's lab, where you see Nyelv finishing up an operation on Magen. And the president was there, and he was amazed on how the candy crack, how it affects Ganyuts. Because he said, wow, I can't believe that this stuff actually works, because Magen will never be willing to be on this operating table and be operated by someone. However, since he is on that candy crack high, he's willing to do anything in order to get more of that stuff. Magen wakes up after the operation, and he gets his marching orders. He gets his stuff like his cell phone, his disguise, and there was also something else as well. As of right now, we don't know what Nyelv has done to Magen, at least not yet, but we're going to find out much later. So we go from As the Ganyu World Turns to the human realm. We see Sashika and Shoma coming from their job, and Shoma notices this building, and he goes inside to check it out. And he tells Sashika the reason why he needed to check this place out, because he wanted to make sure that it's not a safe point for the stomach company to use to store in all the presses and all that. He just wants to be cautious, but ultimately, in my personal opinion, his sister-in-law got him so spooked that he decides that he needs to check any building that could be a stomach family, safe point. So, and it makes sense, right? Just to make sure if there is, he can go in, save the humans, defeat the agents, defeat the Ganyu, then, the day is, good, and blah, 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 blah. So Sashika's like, do you have to do this? And yeah, I have to, but it's just for me to be cautious. But ultimately, I think, his sister-in-law got him spooked. Because now that his sister-in-law is CEO and Jeep is vice president and Lango is in charge of, capturing humans, then it makes sense, because we don't know how powerful Lango is. And if he is in the front lines now, it's going to be brutal. So luckily, the building is safe and everything is fine. We quickly go to Dente, and he looks like he's creating something. However, he ends up collapsing. And so we move on after the opening credits. Speaking of Lango, we go back to as the Ganyu realm turns. Lango receives a report that the press stock is once again back to normal before Shoma started to attack all the safe points and all the stock went down. So it's kind of going back to normal. And he asks the agent what's Nyelv been up to lately. And the response was, well, I haven't seen him lately, but he has been in high spirits. Which causes Lango to be like, Nyelv in high spirits? Okay, something ain't right here. It almost sounds like Nyelv is happy? He's normally all emo, gloomy, because Lango, has this face. I'm like, what? Since when has Nyelv been all happy? lately? What's going on here? So that's the impression I got. So Lango was like, that's odd. I need to find out. So we go to the next scene with Hanto. Hanto is still trying to find his boyfriend's extended family, and he is lost. He doesn't know where to go because he's looking for a house, and he meets this stranger who he assumed that, I know where this house is. Let me lead you to it. So Hanto follows him without question, but later on it's discovered that, it's a trap, which, again, last week Rakita points out that you're stupid. So it just continues on that Hanto is a stupid man. Oh man, Hanto, you continuing to prove Rakita right. So we go back to as the Ganyu world turns, and Nyelv is what looks like he is creating a new gun based on Dr. Nick's old gun. And then Lango shows up, and he asks Nyelv point blank, what the hell are you up to? Are you going to betray me too? Because he got the impression like, are you going to betray me now? Because what's going on? Why are you in league with the president? He didn't really said that, but he's just like, what is it that you're planning? Like, are you trying to betray me or something? Because I can't help but feel for Lango a little bit, because his own little brother threw not just him, but the business itself under the bus, because the president knows, and that's the main reason why the president controls the company now. And as much as Lango would want to do something to fight back, he cannot, because the president could easily inform the authorities, throwing him and his entire family in jail, and the company will be pretty much gone. So he has no choice but to play employee until the time is right. So Nyelv showing some good faith, like, look, brother, like, I'm not gonna betray you, and to show you that I'm not, here's what I'm working on. This gun could help you in your work in capturing more humans. And Lango is once again given that look like, how could this gun help me get more humans? And that's how the scene ends. We go back to Hanto, and we all know that Hanto is led into a trap, and the man attacks him, and Hanto assumes automatically that this is a Ganyu, because why would a human attack him for no apparent reason unless he is a thief trying to steal his wallet. So he attacks the man, he lifts up his shirt and discovers that, wait a minute, you're a Ganyu, and yet you have evil Shoma's bitter Gavv on your stomach. And he's just like, how did you get your hands on it? What's going on? And so we discovered that the man is Magen in disguise, and he is beating up Hanto pretty good, to the point where he never needed to transform at all. They were fighting in their human forms, and Hanto was shooting his gun, but it didn't work. But ultimately, like I said, Hanto was badly beaten and tossed aside, and Magen just like, oh, this is easy. I didn't have to use this thing on my stomach. And so he leaves Hanto for dead. We go to the Happy Parade offices, where Shoma Sashika is checking this koi kite for any tears. And then our beloved Hanto stumbles inside, and Shoma just quickly tends to his boyfriend. Like, for those who've seen the scene, the episode, I hope you guys did. Just like, wow, how quickly Shoma went to Hanto. So Shoma asked, what the hell happened to you? And Hanto was like, I have no idea. As if he got ran over by a bus. And clearly he metaphorically did. But yeah, he was just like, I'm not sure what I'm not sure what hit me, but damn. So we go to Rakita. He's looking for rocks, and then Magen shows up and ends up tasting one of the earth rocks, but he said it's odd and stale. And Rakita was like, wait, you're a Ganyu. And Magen says, like, look, I have a mission killing you Ganyu hunters because of you guys, I can't enjoy the dark treats and so if I get rid of you, I can continue on eating the candy crack. And you see, him with the phone with all three of them. So he's hunting the Kamen Riders down. So that's his mission. So we quickly go back to the office. Hanto tells Shoma that this guy Nyelv has evil Shoma's bitter Gavv, the black Gavv. And Sashika assumes, could it be that Dr. Nick has returned? But Hanto assures Sashika that it can't be Dr. Nick. He's been dead for months, which causes Shoma to really think that, so if it's not Dr. Nick, it could be my brother Nyelv. So we go back to Rakita and Magen, and he shows off his new Gavv, and Rakita was like, how in the hell did you, like, what is this? Because the last time I saw that Gavv, it belonged to one of the evil clones. And then, you have to give Rakita credit. Not only that he is he's a great fighter, but he's also very smart. And he just like, oh, great. I think I know what happened. Nay must have operated on you and replaced your Gavv with that Gavv, and yeah, so on and so forth. So he demands some answers like, who the hell are you? What's your name? And obviously Magen is not going to tell. He ends up transforming into bitter Gavv in the cookie form, and then Rakita follows suit and they fight. We go back to the office. Shoma tells Hanto and Sashika about his suspicions that it could be Nyelv's handiwork. And then Sashika was pointed this out. Wait a minute. So if this guy, did this to Hanto, could there be a possibility that he could be hunting, Rakita and also you, Shoma? And then on the nick of time, the jelly Kachizo just shows up and reports to Shoma that Rakita is in trouble. So it's confirmed that yes, Magen is targeting those three Kamen Riders. And so Shoma goes out there and find Rakita and help him, leaving Sashika to attend to Hanto. But Sashika knows that that she cannot help Hanto because she cannot take him to a hospital for obvious reasons. So she brought up the idea that maybe she can go see Dente and bring him here to heal him. And so she leaves as well, leaving poor Hanto benched. So we go to Rakita versus Magen. And this is the first time in a long time that we see Rakita on the defense because, again, he's a very good fighter, and this is one of those rare times where he's like having trouble because Magen is a powerful enemy right now, and he starts to gloat on how, I am powerful in terms of strength. I heard that you were also got operated by Nyelv, but you're the weak one. I'm the most powerful. and I'm gonna beat you, and Shoma is next. And speaking of Shoma, Shoma shows up, and he sees, bitter Gavv in cookie form and be like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? And then Nyelv shows up and tells the whole world that is Magen, a business tycoon. And Magen was like, why did you out me? Why? It was supposed to be a secret. And Nyelv was like, well, does it really matter? I mean, you're doing great so far. You're gonna succeed. You're gonna kill all three. It's fine. The secret will die with them. Relax. And then for a brief moment, we have Nyelv and Shoma, taking shots at each other. And Shoma asks Nyelv, so are you gonna also betray your brother as well? Brother Lango, sorry. Are you going to betray our brother Lango? And Nyelv, for whatever reason, his response was like, takes one to know one, like as if you betrayed, everything about betrayal. And I'm like, wait a minute, time out. How did Shoma betray you guys? It doesn't make any sense. Because to me, you treated Shoma like crap from the moment he just was born. And up to now, you killed his mother right in front of him. You started killing people. So you expected loyalty? It doesn't make any sense from Nyelv. How he responded back to Shoma about betrayal, and Shoma did not betray you. I mean, and also, just to add, like as of right now, we don't know where Nyelv's allegiance lies. Does it belong to the president now, or does it belong to Lango still? We don't know for sure. But in that family, I can easily see a couple of backstabs here and there. Hell, they didn't even mourn Sheeta's death. What does that tell you? It all goes back to the parents, of course, because it's due to bad parenting. But damn, man, I wouldn't be a part of that family because I would be too paranoid to be like, is my sister, brother is going to backstab me in the back? I should backstab them first. But damn. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't understood why Nyelv said that to Shoma about betrayal when Shoma never betrayed them in the first place. But okay. So after, taking a couple of shots towards each other, we go to Shoma once again, joining the fight, helping Rakita out. He uses his ice cream form. So we go to Sashika. She goes to the cave and sees Dente, but she sees Dente on the ground as if he died. But no, it wasn't the case, luckily, because he collapsed because he hasn't eaten all day. And she also notices that his second stomach was missing teeth. And of course, Dente is giving excuse after excuse about why he doesn't have any teeth anymore. And Sashika tells Dente what's going on. Hanto is injured. Rakita and Shoma needs help because they're in trouble. We need you. Which Dente points to his new invention. And he says, I think I finished my invention just in time. As Sashika was looking at this new invention, she turns her head just a little bit and notices a couple of teeth on the table. And it's not going to get revealed until the flashback. So, yeah. So, we go back to the handicap match of Shoma and Rakita versus Magen. And we see Shoma and Magen at the top of a ice mountain, and you see Rakita shooting his arrows, but Magen easily deals with Rakita almost immediately. leaving Shoma all alone. And with his ice cream form, he still is having trouble defeating this guy. And to make matters worse, his ice cream melted. So he goes back to his human form. At least he still has his sword. It looks like all hope is lost, but then Sashika shows up with, Dente's new invention called the gochipod, throws it at Shoma, and thanks Sashika, thanks his great uncle, and he tries to use it. And this happened with Hanto. Because remember a couple of episodes ago, Hanto tried to use his new driver and this new Kachizo. He uses it and nothing happened. The same thing happened here. And everybody just stood there just like awkward, like, is something gonna happen? And Rakita had the best line, like, this old man again? Really? Like, okay. And then Shoma's like, oh crap, well, you know what, I have my trusty sword, so I'm just gonna continue in my human form, and maybe, just maybe, I can beat his ass. And unfortunately the reverse happened. Like, Magen was the one with the offense. There was a moment there where we all thought that Shoma was sliced in half, but his Gavv pretty much saved him from being sliced in half. And he gets, beaten up pretty good. Not in the way of Hotaro, where, the possessed Sabimaru in dread form punches him to oblivion. No. But similar to that. And one of the Kachizos, was looking at this fight and got fire on his eyes and decides to jump into the gochipod, and every Kachizo follows suit, and we see all these Kachizos going inside this pod until eventually we see, a filled up gochipod. And so we get to the flashback. So in the flashback, Sashika caught Dente like, these are your teeth. What is really going on here? And Dente confessed, look, since I cannot go to the Ganyu world to get the materials needed to create this new pod, I decided to use the next best thing, which is my teeth. And Sashika's like, to go through great lengths? Like, why? And Dente said, I did it for Shoma. I love him. I would do anything for him. And also, I just want to make amends because I was the one who created the dark treats. So this is the best way I can make amends. And he asked Sashika, can you please do not tell him? Please. So we're going to have a secret between Dente and Sashika, and that's pretty much it there. And then we go back to the present time. We get to see, Shoma using the quote-unquote force to get the gochipod, and we see the debut of Shoma's final form, at least his first final form, which is called the Gavv. And I have to say, it's okay. The suit looks all right. And, the hands looks like, in the Infinity Gauntlet from Marvel and all that. So it looks pretty nice, bulky and all that. And everybody was in shock to see Shoma in this new form. Even Nyelv was like, what the hell? But Magen was like, nah, I could easily defeat you, new form or old form, no form, I'm still gonna kill you. And he uses his abilities to attack him, but the new form pretty much, helped him to deflect the attack. It was more like it attacked him, but nothing happened to him. It's like, yeah, I'm immune to your attack. and Shoma just slowly walks towards Magen as Magen continues to attack him. And then as he got close enough, he unleashed a one punch attack called the Over Smash and just punches him into oblivion. And that's how the episode ends. Guys, I don't know. It went quick, this episode, and also people online were like, I can't believe they debuted Shoma's final form this soon, because apparently around episode 38, on episode 38, they usually debut, the writer's final form. But since there's two, I wouldn't be surprised that the second final form will make its debut on episode 38. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much, guys. Even if it shows up early, whatever, it is what it is. So overall, it's an okay episode. The final form felt a little bit rushed, and it's because usually when it comes to final forms, the majority of the time, the main character needs to go through a lot of pain in order to get the final form. Because remember, Geets lost his mother. That's how he got his final form. With Revice, his father was close to death, and that's how he got his final form. Saber, I think he got his mega form after he lost this little girl he tried to look for. 01. I don't actually remember how Aruto got his final form, but ultimately, when it comes to final forms, there needs to be like a close death or an actual death in order for the main character to go all I have the power type of thing and get blessed with a final form. So I don't know what's going to happen for Shoma to achieve his second form, but I'm just saying, because it feels like Shoma getting the gochipod just felt a little bit flat for me. And it wasn't like, okay, I lost somebody and here's my final form. And Drive. I remember Drive with, the main character being actually dead, and they had to revive him and obtain his final form that way. It's always about death to get, the final form. But anyways, they're trying to make things differently, I guess, in terms of, in any case, Nay, we don't know where his true allegiance will lie, but he will come up with some lame brain excuse to save his own skin. Let's see. Hanto, once again, benched. Dente is willing to do anything for his great nephew, even to sacrifice his own teeth. And the idea of Magen becoming the new bitter Gavv, I just don't like it. I would much rather prefer like one last Bizarro, wanting revenge, or Baby K all grown up. I would have much preferred that instead of Magen becoming the new Kamen Rider, but that's just my personal opinion. And I think that is it, guys. Please let me know if you've seen the episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If you disliked it, what your thoughts and opinions of what you can change. I have my notes in front of me, but I may have missed a couple of things. Give me your thoughts and opinions about Over Gavv. Did you like the suit? Or dislike the suit? Give me your thoughts and opinions about Nyelv's supposed alliance or his allegiance. Do you think he's still loyal to his brother, or he's now loyal to the president? Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Before I go, this is important. I will share a link on the description box below. And this clip, I watched it, guys, and I'm like, yeah, he knows too. And just to set up the setting, the cast was doing like a stage show, and the actor who plays Shoma was talking, and I assume he was talking about, his character and Hanto and their relationship and all that. And a word slipped out of his mouth. And I was like, man, Shoma, I know his actual name is not Shoma, but I don't remember his real name. But the actor I was like, dude, like, you ain't wrong. Like, I'm sure you watched the show just like me and everybody else who's listening be like, yeah, I'm getting the same vibes too. Because I'm sure the writers didn't intend it to go that way, but the way it was being portrayed in the show was like, is there more between Hanto and Shoma than just friendship? Because the way it's portrayed, or it's getting portrayed, it's like, yeah, this is more than just friendship. And the actor just blurted out and be like, yeah, he knows too. You were thinking that as well, sir. You were thinking the same thing as me and everybody else in the audience listening to this video. You're thinking the same thing. Don't take it back. It's funny. I wouldn't take it too seriously. It just slipped up, but that's something to really watch and be like, yeah, he knows too. He knows. So please make sure to click that clip and give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!